One thing that's come up a bunch in a bunch of the chats is this offer stacking concept. So I can just break down for a second how I look at this for Founder OS and do this with all of my businesses. So first off, like I think people give too much credence to one offer and making that super irresistible. But my belief is that you oftentimes across your pipeline have like 7 offers that you need to get right. So I'll kind of illustrate this briefly. In a sense, you have your something like that, right? Here at the top, you have social, and your description on social, whether that's on like Instagram, X, and the way that you set up your profile is essentially an offer to get someone to follow you. When you do this really bad, you get like 0.5% of people that visit your profile following you. And you can simply look at this on any given platform by dividing your followers in a week divided by your profile visits. And you can see how effective your profile is at converting people. Because in a sense, your social profile is like a landing page, right? So bad is 0.5% conversion, good, 20%, right? Huge difference between these two, right? You're converting like 20x more people than the average because this is where most people are at. And this is where, say, our LinkedIn profile would be converting people to followers right now. So the next aspect then is your newsletter. Driving people to your newsletter, the key thing here, if you're really looking to make sure that conversion goes really well, is that when you're driving someone from a piece of content to your newsletter, that each piece of content is tightly coupled with why someone should join your newsletter. So a bad example of this is when someone puts out a piece of content, let's just say it was around deep work, and then at the end of that, they have a CTA that's like, hey, I have a newsletter with 100,000 people on it, you should join it. That has no relevancy to the post itself, and it will get a really bad conversion rate. On the other side, if you know and you've planned out your content calendar, and you know on Saturday you have this more of a deep dive checklist coming around deep work that Saturday, it's going to be a lot more effective to have a piece of content go out on social. And in the CTA of that description, say on Instagram, it says, hey, if you liked this, you'll love my newsletter on Saturday. I'm releasing a deep work checklist with all of my best hacks that you can go and check off yourself. Go and join this newsletter to get access to that. It's like, okay, well, I'm into this deep work post and I'm going to go and join your newsletter because I want that deep work thing you're releasing, right? So it's kind of tightly coupling the newsletter topics to the content. And the more tight those are, the more you're going to be able to drive people from social to the newsletter. So it's a mix of the copy being tightly coupled and then making sure that you have the CTAs in the right spot. And I've talked about extensively like all the different CTAs that I have across all platforms, right? So on each platform, there's around like 3 different positions you can put these. On Instagram, your bio, under your different posts on Instagram, you can have CTAs also to ManyChat, so on and so forth, right? LinkedIn, it's your featured section, your bio, the end of a post. So you want to make sure that you're doing the CTAs because many people are wondering, why am I not converting people from these platforms? And then you look at the amount of CTAs they're making per week, and it's like 1 out of 7 days, right? Where almost every post you do, I would say at least 60% of your content should have some form of a CTA in it. CTA being a call to action. So the next part in this, it depends on how we're doing things, but it could be something like, anything that we want to drive from the newsletter. So sometimes we're driving people to a workshop, which we do 1 time a month. We promote this for 7 days and do a 7-day countdown leading up to this free workshop, and then promote it afterwards with like a drip sequence for about 72 hours after the workshop itself. Okay. The other thing you could consider are things like low ticket products. We launch low ticket products once every 90 days, right? And so we just did, YouTube for CEOs last quarter. Before that, we did LinkedIn for CEOs. I've talked about how I don't do these to make money from the thing itself. I do it to try and bring in people to this like low ticket paid thing that become then a leads list for Ben's team to go and nurture those leads, get them on sales calls and have them join if it makes sense. So yeah, I'm not looking to like build the business off of low ticket products. It's simply just getting the right kind of people to buy a low ticket thing and then giving that as a leads list to the sales side of things. The next stage after this would be something like a high ticket offer. This is where Founder OS would come in, right? This is like low ticket, let's just say, is anywhere from $29 to $199. High ticket, you can generally think of this anywhere from $2K to like $9K. From this, which is generally considered like a front end, would be around 90 days. We'd then have something like OS Plus, which is the core offering at Founder OS, a 12-month. This is like where we get people the most results. And this typical range of things, like we price at $29K, but other people price this all the way up to a similar type offering for anywhere from $48,000 to $68,000. Okay. And you're simply same sort of deal, bringing people from this offering to this one. Okay. So this is like how I view offers, is that you're trying to get people on social to follow you, getting them to then join a newsletter, driving them to a workshop. Typically, because we only do these once a quarter, we drive people right from these to this or this. But just illustrating this so you guys can kind of like get a sense of, what this might look like for my business and how that would relate to your own businesses.